Assassin's Creed Valhalla! This is exactly why I wait for reviews, boys. So, Assassin's Creed, a simple Wikipedia search will show you that there's been 23 titles. I'm sure some fanboy of the series will go down there and be like, well, there's actually 22 or there's 24. If you look at this indie game that was released in somebody's basement back in 1994, I don't really care. To be honest, Assassin's Creed games are very hit or miss. And this game isn't a huge miss, but it's certainly not a huge hit, and it's certainly not worth $60, especially when there's the new consoles coming out, there's new graphics cards coming out, the RTX series, AMD's new shit that looks pretty damn good. There's better things for you to be spending your money on right now than Valhalla. So let's get into it. So the consensus here seems to be amongst reviewers. So I've watched all the reviews here from, the big major companies like IGN and GameSpot and whatnot, which, by the way, usually give 10 out of 10 or 9 out of 10s to AAA titles, no matter how good or bad they are. I mean, they gave Last of Us 2 10 out of 10 across the board. When you look at actual user reviews on things like, Rotten Tomatoes and, actual individual YouTubers and stuff, it's not a 10 out of 10 game and whatnot. So GameSpot and IGN, they gave it an 8 out of 10, which is subpar. And then also you look at actual legit gamers like 1UP and GameRanks and stuff like that, and then also like smaller YouTube channels, and then even smaller YouTube channels like mine that actually are legit gamers that give a fuck about gameplay and have no bias or anything like that and aren't bought off. This game's not great at all. So the gameplay seems to be bloated and repetitive, meaning a lot of the same stuff over and over for the 50 to 55 hour campaign. So it's longer than some of these titles we've seen before, but it's a bunch of filler and crap. So that's unfortunate. And then like with each of these Assassin's Creed games, a lot of times it's just a new premise, a new historical time frame, a new theme, basically. So you're like pirates and black flags. You've done the whole Italy thing and the Renaissance era and stuff like that. And now we're Vikings. So, which sounds cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Mollywopping people as a Viking sounds really cool in theory. And don't get me wrong. If you spend $60 on this game, I'm not calling you an idiot. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying that you wasted your money. What I am saying is, there are better things you could spend your $60 on, considering it is a AAA title, new release. They are going to charge you 60 bones for that bad boy, and there are better things you could spend your money on. So it seems like the consensus across the board, and this is why I wait for reviews on games that I'm not sure about. Now, things that I want to play day one, I will pre-order, and play them. So I did that with Last of Us 2 because I was super excited because I liked the first game and I heard a bunch of the leaks and stuff and wanted to cover the content for that. Ghost of Tsushima, played that day one. Call of Duty, the new Cold War, I had that pre-ordered. I'll be playing that when that drops because not just for content for you guys, but also it looks pretty decent actually. But this game, I've been saying it for the longest time. Assassin's Creed games are very hit and miss, and I feel like this one is right in the middle. So it didn't hit you right in the nutsack, but it also didn't miss your scrotum either. Basically meaning you spent $60 on it, it's probably worth the wait and get it for $35 or $40 on Steam or on the PlayStation, PSN, or Xbox Live library. I would not spend my full $60 on this game, because it's pumped full of filler. You're doing a bunch of siege missions, which are like these little side missions that you do to fill up time. It looks like a lot of the gameplay is pretty bloated. It looks like the gameplay itself had some glitches and stuff. It's unfortunate to see AAA titles get released with the glitches and stuff like that, glitches and bugs. It happens all too often, which sucks because they do have a QC team of game testers whose job is to sit there and play the game and look for these bugs and glitches so they can get patched out before they get released to us, the consumer. They just want to sit there, schwack off, eat a chimichanga, crack a brewski, and play these games. But we're encountering stupid shit. And not to mention, I mean, yeah, the whole Viking thing is cool, but it wasn't really executed to the nastiest of nasties when it comes to Viking warfare. So, I'm sorry. You know, I have not played the game yet, and I'm not going to until it goes down in price, because I've watched all the other reviews from honest folk, like not just IGN and GameSpot. I watched those to hear what they had to say, but I also watched, you know, small YouTubers like myself, and also, you know, mid-grade YouTubers that have maybe, you know, 100 to 500,000 subscribers that have a decent following. So, you know, they might have got a pre-order copy and stuff like that. But, yeah, they're all saying the same thing. So, just think about it. Boop.